All right, recording.
Awesome. This is West. Welcome to Piercing the Veil. We're going to go over the old Q post starting from number 1. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Milkmaid here.
Mad Hatter here.
So we're going to get right into this. Hillary Clinton extradition number 1, anonymous, October 28, 2017 at 1:44:28 p.m. Anonymous writes, Hillary Clinton will be arrested between 7:45 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. Eastern on Monday, the morning on October 30th, 2017. And then we go on, it's Hillary Rodham Clinton. Extradition already in motion effective yesterday with several countries in case of cross-border run. Passport approved to be flagged effective 10:30 at 12:01 a.m. Expect massive riots organized in defiance and others fleeing the U.S. to occur. U.S. IMS will conduct the operation with NG activated. Proof check, locate an NG member and ask if activated for duty. 10:30 across major cities. You guys have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I think that was one of those future-proof past things.
Yeah, but she hasn't been arrested yet, so.
No, she hasn't. No, she hasn't. But you know, a lot of the cabal members have been awful quiet lately, which kind of leads you to believe something's going on.
Well, there is video out there, and I studied it very closely, and it shows her being picked up underneath her armpits and being put into a black van, SUV. Now, when they pick her up, her feet leave the ground heels first, which tells me she was in handcuffs with leg irons that were attached to a belt around her waist. That's what I got out of that film.
Was that was that lately?
No, this was about a year ago. It was quite a long time ago. I'd have to go back and find that.
Huh.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, I
Okay,
would too.
I might have it in some of my stuff somewhere. I will try to find it again. So I believe she was detained and maybe either microchipped or given one of those ankle bracelets.
Well, yeah, you know, well, she and McCain both wore those ankle boots, you know. But the funny thing is, you know, she said she had fallen and broken or sprained or what have you her ankle, but the odd thing was the boot kept changing feet.
No, that was on McCain.
Oh, was that McCain?
That was McCain that swapped the feet, and then Hillary, actually, she broke her toe, and there wasn't anybody that believed for a minute that you get one of those boots for a toe.
No, I've broken a few toes, and you certainly don't get a boot. The most I ever got from the doctor was a kiss and a wave, telling me there's nothing they could do for a broken toe.
Yeah, or tape it to the one next to it.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think we might want to clarify, is since we know now what they're talking about, is, and it might make reading this easier, is HRC. They use a lot of initials. So HRC is Hillary Rodham Clinton. And we believe that down in the bottom of that post it says USMs. We believe that to be U.S. Marine Corps.
Or U.S. Marshals.
Or Marshals, yeah. But the Marines work for POTUS. So I'm not sure, but you might be right there with Marshals. And then the other one was National Guard, NG.
Okay, so we're going to go on to number 2. And this came in October 28th, 2017 at 3:15:48 p.m. And it says anonymous, but this is from Q. Hillary Clinton detained, not arrested yet. Mockingbird, Hillary Rodham Clinton detained, not arrested yet. Where's Huma? Follow Huma. This has nothing to do with Russia yet. Why does POTUS surround himself with generals? Why is military intelligence? Why go around the 3-letter agencies? What Supreme Court case allows the use of military versus congressional assembled and approved agencies? Who has ultimate authority over our branches of military? without approval conditions unless 90 plus in wartime conditions. What is the military code? Where is AW held? And AW is Anthony Weiner. And that's when he was still in custody, I believe. Lost my spot. Okay. And why? POTUS will not go on TV to address nation. POTUS must isolate himself to prevent negative optics. POTUS knew removing criminal rogue elements as a first step was essential to free and pass legislation. That was a tongue twister. Who has access to everything classified? Do you believe Hillary Rodham Clinton, Soros, Obama, etc. have more power than Trump? Fantasy. Whoever controls the office of the president controls the great land. This is a long one. They never believed for a moment they, Democrats and Republicans, would lose control. This is not an R versus D battle. Why did Soros donate all his money recently? Why would he place all of his funds in a RC? And RC is, I don't know what RC is. Mockingbird, 10/30/17. God bless fellow patriots. And it's not signed Q yet because he's not signing a name yet.
An RC is a charity, and I can't remember what the R stands for, but I know that some of them, you can't get your money back out of them. It's something to do with a charity.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Mad Hatter?
Oh, good on that one.
Okay. So number 3 says, open your eyes, in parentheses, uranium-1 scandal. Anonymous, and this is Q again, October 29th, 2017 at 8:47:07. Open your eyes. It finally came out that Rob, Bob were key players in the uranium scandal. Don't you think POTUS would be tweeting about removal, even clear conflict? Given clear conflict, sorry. Why did POTUS meet Bob under the cover of FBI? Direct interview. Bob is unable to serve as director per the law. Gowdy comments on Comey. History will. POTUS has everything. Not everyone is corrupt, fewer than you think. Follow Huma. Operation Mockingbird. Priority to clean out the bad actors to unite people behind the America First agenda. Many in our government worship Satan. Not about Republicans versus Democrats at this stage. Where is Hillary Rodham Clinton? Why is the National Guard called up across 12 cities? Trust in your president. God bless patriots. No comment?
I do know the National Guard was called up. I had a neighbor that was a ranking officer in the National Guard, and I was told by that individual when I asked about it that they were indeed called up. It was for a homeland problem that she could not elaborate, but that what I was reading was correct. So that was pretty nice.
So that's a future-proof pass.
Yes.
Okay, number 4. POTUS 100% insulated. And this is again not anonymous. This is before he signs a Q. October 29th, 2017 at 9:11:40 a.m. Some of us come here to drop crumbs, just crumbs. POTUS is 100% insulated. Any discussion suggesting he's even a target is false. POTUS will not be addressing nation on any of these issues as people begin to be indicted and must remain neutral for pure optical reasons. To suggest this is the plan is false and should be common sense. Focus on military intelligence, state secrets, and why might that be used versus any 3-letter agency. What SC decision opened the door for a sitting president to activate? What must be shown? Why is POTUS surrounded by generals? Again, there are a lot more good people than bad to have faith. This was a hostile takeover from an evil, corrupt network of players, not just Democrats. Don't fool yourself into thinking Obama, Soros, Rothschild, Clintons, etc. have more power present day than POTUS. Operation Mockingbird. Patriots are in control. Sit back and enjoy the show. Comments?
Yeah, I think POTUS has been dropping crumbs. I personally think it's going to be any day that he starts with this national emergency over the border. And a lot of these early posts of Q are most certainly future proofs past, because a lot of these things are coming to light now. They didn't make a whole lot of sense to us when they first dropped. And now, bit by bit by bit by bit, this little puzzle is starting to come together. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm kind of ready for some big booms, and that would be nice. I think half the nation's ready for big booms, but that's
I know we are.
yes.
More than half. We're all sitting here on pins and needles going, win, win, win now.
Well, in the meantime, some things keep getting worse. I mean, it's like here in California, they've passed so many new laws that nobody got to vote on. Like, who are you to tell us how we're going to keep living? We're done with it.
Well, it's almost like they're in turbo mode right now. It's like they're in, well, like Q says, like in a panic mode. They're trying to get all of these legislations passed very, very quickly. It's like it's almost like they expect something to come up. It's like New York. They're trying, which I think is absolutely disgusting personally. But they're trying to pass where it'd be legal to have an abortion up until the day of conception.
You mean of birth?
And that's just wrong in 300,000 million ways in my head. I mean, there's no excuse for it. There's no justification.
There's absolutely no reason.
There's nothing you can tell me. And for there's a video on YouTube of this conservative talking to these liberals about abortion, and all of these people are saying how it's a woman's right, it's this, that, and the other, yada yada yada. Well, then he shows them a video of a real abortion. Well, it's funny that every single one of these people changed their position, and they are now firmly against abortion. And I think most of these people out here that are preaching for it and are proud of it, they either have no heart or they've never been exposed to what actually happens. It's not just a lump of flesh with no feelings. I mean, I've seen videos where the babies are actually crying, trying to get away from the scalpels, and that's as far as I'm going to go on that.
There's nothing to follow that with.
Yeah, that's just like the most abhorrent thing ever, ever, ever. I mean, ever. And so anything I do know in Alabama that the Alabama Supreme Court actually questioned the R.V. Wade. I know it's the first time they have ever been questioned, and now they have sent it up to the Supreme Court. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, whether that gets downplayed and thrown out or what happens. But I don't know. We were always taught that if you play and you get pregnant, you pay. I mean, this is a child. This is a baby.
Well, I think what we really need to do is go back to morals and responsibility.
Well, that's the thing. Morals and responsibility nowadays are looked down upon. If you're a Christian, if you have morals, if you stand by your values, if anything along those lines, then they like to immediately tag you as being racist, homophobic, xenophobic, whatever other phobic they can come up with. And that's what's gotten away from us as a people in the country. And the only saving grace they have, meaning the left have right now, is that the right, for the most part, are very quiet people. And we may not speak out loud. We may not stand in Starbucks and argue with you. But when it's time to go to the voting booth, hopefully these people will step up and do the right thing and put our kids first again.
Well, I think they did that in 2016 when they elected POTUS.
Yes.
Those who normally wouldn't leave their job or leave their farm or leave whatever to go and vote got did it. I think if you get rid of the voter fraud, I think you'll find that he won the popular vote as well. So.
Well, I was recently down in Broward County, and anybody that follows politics knows about Broward County.
Hey, Sheriff Israel got removed yesterday.
He's gone. But the good thing is, well, the surprising thing is, I actually wore, on one of my days, I actually wore my Trump hat. And with that being such a liberal county community area,
You were taking your life in your hands.
I expected some dirty looks, and I was kind of wanting some dirty looks. But in all actuality, you would not believe how many thumbs up, good going, I love him, as people passed me, and it was very quiet. Nobody was screaming it from the rooftops. But even in an area like that is predominantly liberal, I got all good comments, and I never got the first bad comment.
Wow.
I think the voter fraud is so rampant that they underestimate, or maybe they need to do the voter fraud because there are just so many more of us than there are of them. I think once he exposes it and gets it under control, I think a lot will change. I'm hoping. I think so, though.
Yeah.
So anyway, next cue.
Go ahead, Wes.
Okay, number 5 is follow the money. It's the key. Anonymous, once again, it's not assigned Q yet. October 29th, 2017 at 9:47, 18 a.m. Follow the money. It's the key. What is Pelosi's net worth, by the way of one example? What coincidentally is her memory apparently going? Cover for possible future indictment to plead what? What if John M. never had surgery and that was a cover for the future, out if needed against prosecution? Why did Soros transfer his bulk public funds to a nonprofit? Note, this doesn't include massive slush funds that are pulled by several high-ups. Why did Soros' son have several meetings with Canadian Prime Minister, and how is that related to Clinton's? Can you rely on being able to board a plane and fly away? MS-13, a priority. Nobody got this. Do people pay such gangs to kill opponents? Why? How to insulate against exposure? The truth is mind-blowing and cannot fully be exposed. Many are thinking from one point of view. I'm going to go and I'm going to check this. United States only. This evil is embedded globally. United States is the first domino. Have faith. I think they're talking about Seth Rich's murder right there.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
Yeah.
I think that subject is going to come back up here shortly. I know he's opened up some new investigations on things that were once closed. Franklin cover-up. He's actually opened up a brand new investigation on it. So I think you're going to see a lot of these ones that were swept under the rug be brought back out to light.
Good. Okay, so we're going to go to number 6. POTUS 100% insulated. In parentheses, continued. Anonymous, once again, it's Q. October 29th, 2017 at 6:48:50 p.m. Some of us come here to drop crumbs, just crumbs. POTUS is 100% insulated. Any decision suggesting he's even a target is false. Fala Huma tomorrow. POTUS will not be addressing nation on any of these sub-issues as people begin to be indicted and must remain neutral for pure optical reasons. To suggest this is the plan is false and should be common sense. Focus on military intelligence / state secrets, and why might that be used versus any 3-letter agency? What? And I'm going to go with Supreme Court decision open the door for a sitting president to activate. What must be shown? Why is POTUS surrounded by generals? Again, there are a lot more good people than bad, so have faith. This was a hostile takeover from an evil, corrupt network of players, not just Democrats. Don't fool yourself into thinking Obama, Soros, Ross, Clintons, etc. have more power present day than POTUS. Follow the money, it's the key. What is Pelosi's net worth, by the way, for one example? Why, coincidentally, is her memory apparently going? Cover for possible future indictment to plead what? What if John M. never had surgery and that was a cover for a future out if needed against prosecution? Why did Soros transfer his bulk funds to a nonprofit? No, this doesn't include massive slush funds that are pulled by several high-ups. Scroll down. Why did Soros' son have several meetings with Canadian Prime Minister, and how is that related to Clinton's? Why is MS-13 a priority? Could people pay such gangs to kill opponents, and why? How to insulate against exposure? The truth is mind-blowing and cannot fully be exposed. These people are evil. Operation Mockingbird. Yeah, we need to get rid of MS-13.
I know that Pelosi, just her house alone is worth millions. She's behind a 6-foot stone wall, double fenced, and a river at her back. And she's in a multi-million-dollar house down here in Napa.
Yeah.
I don't know what her actual net worth is, but it's way more than what she earns.
The last time I
And
looked, it was 139 million.
Holy crap. And Feinstein, too.
Yeah, if you were to take her her paycheck, like all the rest of us, and add it up over the 20 years that she's been in office, she would have made somewhere in the realm of $1.3 million. Not one. I'm sorry, not 1.3, $3.3 million. But yet she's worth $140 million, but nothing to see here. You know, business as usual. That's okay. I need a job like that.
I don't even need that. I'd be happy with her regular paycheck every year.
I'd be happy with the interest off of the $140 million.
Yeah.
Well, that's subject to change.
Yeah, I know, but still, that would still be nice. But that's another thing that's so ironic. All of these people that are screaming about walls, and we don't need walls. We need to open this and open that and open borders and embrace
Every one of them lives behind a wall with guards.
Bingo.
And they're all armed.
Bingo. Funny how that happens, isn't it?
Yeah,
no,
Feinstein
not at
is
all.
open carry, and she's trying to pass a law to take our guns away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they were talking about another one this morning. I don't remember what state it was in. I'm sorry. About magazines and capacity no more than 5 rounds, and that they were going to limit you to buying 20 rounds per month.
Yeah.
20 rounds per month. You can't even practice on that.
No.
I mean, just to get your CCW, you go through probably, I don't know, 500-600 rounds.
Yeah, you have to be right on target with those things.
Well, yeah, when you talk about gun owners, you're talking about very passionate people. They're very passionate about the Constitution. They're very passionate about their target practice, their hunting, whatever it may be. You don't, at least in my neck of the woods, you don't meet very many hunters that when you ask about their guns, they go, I got a few. It's almost like asking a teenage kid about a muscle car. They break it down step by step what they have. They're very proud of it. And you're going to have to pry it out of their cold, dead fingers. So I think if they really keep pushing this gun control thing, I think we're not far from the point. This is my own opinion. I don't think we're far from the point where these people really get sick of it and they really start voicing their opinions more than just the NRA has been doing. So the left thinks that we're just, happy-go-lucky pushovers, but they're
I
going
was going to say pushovers.
Yeah.
Well, what they've basically done is stuck us in a pot like frogs, and they've turned the heat up a little bit at a time.
Yeah, but like the old memes, like the meme says that I love absolutely to death. It says they really want a war with us. We have 9 trillion bullets, and they can't decide which bathroom to use.
Right.
Well, The way I see it is that over the years, they've pushed and prodded and poked and made fun of and made all the conservatives and made the Republicans just back away and let them have what they want because they throw such a hissy fit over it. But, you know, we'll only take it so long. It's like pushing your dad when you're a little kid or your mom. But you can push and push and push and push, and then eventually you're going to get a spanking.
Yeah, eventually their voice raises, and they have a loud voice now, and they're going to continue to push up. But see, they don't understand. They're seriously pushing the wrong people. You know, we're not going to take it, and they're so used to being able
Getting their
to
way.
stomp their feet and cry like kids, and us just rolling over and saying, "Oh well, okay." Well, like Wes says, they have us in that pot, but I think the frogs are aware now that we're in the pot. And so we're just biding our time. And there's going to come a point in time where they're not in the streets, but we are. And they don't want, the left does not want a confrontation with the right. You look at the right's pictures. I mean, you've got SEALs, you've got Rangers, you've got, Billy Joe Bob that's been hunting since he was 2.5. And then you look at the left, you've got blue hair, you've got nose rings like a Ubangi. I mean,
they don't even have a tan, and look how many of them have that gray pallor to them.
Yeah, they really want to push that fight, and that's going to be the shortest war in history.
That's right.
Okay, next cue.
Okay.
No, I'm just trying to keep you on track, Wes. That's all. We'll get you off track real quick, and I know you want to do this, so I'm not being rude. I'm just trying to keep it
Thank you.
in your direction today.
Okay, number 7, Hillary/Obama emailgate. Anonymous, the 29th of October 2017 at 6:58:37 p.m. Again, there is no signature from Q. Why wasn't Hillary Rodham Clinton prosecuted for the emails? Put simply, Obama ultimately okayed by using the non-government email Addy to communicate with /Clinton. Obama also had an alias along with each of his cabinet members, therefore indicating HRC would lead to indicting
Obama.
Okay, that was right. Indicting Obama and his cabinet, etc., which could never happen. Remember, he lied about knowing but that ultimately came out in the dump. Poof. Okay, that whole thing didn't make sense.
Well, actually, it was talking about they didn't prosecute HRC for the emails because if they did that, it would come out that Obama knew about the emails because he emailed her himself. So that's why they didn't do that. They were covering it all up. But it came out anyway that Obama had knew and had access and was emailing back and forth with her on those private servers. Because he said he didn't know anything about it.
Just recently came out, so that's a basic future-proof past right there.
It is. It's a big one.
And I don't think we understood that when this first came out in October of 17.
Well, we didn't have the proof. All we had was Q's word.
Exactly.
And Q wasn't Q yet.
No, he still wasn't Q.
No, he still wasn't Q, and that's all we had was his word. So it sent people digging. It sent the anods digging.
Okay, so we're going to go on to number 8, Huma Abedin's Dilemma. Anonymous, October 29th, 2017 at 7:17 p.m. Oh, there's a lot of 17s in there. Huma, husband in jail. HRC, Muslim Brotherhood, or child. What would you do? Kiss your child goodbye and leave without a mother or father for Clinton? Where's Huma today? Was she with HRC on her book tour? Regarding military intelligence / state secrets, no FBI. POTUS installed his people within each top spot at each 3-letter agency except one. in parentheses, good reason there as Admiral R kick-started this and scrubbed all POTUS nominations to verify oath. Do you think they aren't in control of those respective agencies? What is most valuable? Information. AG sessions on leakers. File or prosecute. Reorg is underway and happening. Coincidence? Senate Republicans pushing for federal judge confirmations last week. Why are Senate Republicans dropping out? Not by choice, or were offered a choice. Rest assured, they will vote pro-Trump. Yay.
And all of that came to pass.
Yep.
Yes.
Future proofs past.
Future proofs past. We've got the majority of the rhinos out, and 53-47 in the Senate now.
And the 53 is a fairly honest representation of actual Republicans that are conservative rather than
Right, right. We only have maybe one or two dissenters, but it's not like it was last year. And so, it's like you said that, we were focused on the Senate, they were focused on the House.
Mm-hmm.
We let the House go because we wanted.
The House can't do anything without the Senate's approval. So
Right. And McConnell told them from get-go the day that they were all sworn in and they started sending all these goofy legislations up to him. And he told them in a nutshell, send all the goofy stuff you want here. It will never see the Senate floor. And so they're lame duck. They're just lame duck. That's it. They're lame ducks.
Okay, so this
did
is what
you
I don't.
see?
Go ahead.
Sorry, did you see the Supreme Court ruled on whether or not that one woman from Michigan could swear on the Quran rather than the Bible?
Yes.
I saw that it was illegal.
Yes, yes. So what are they going to do with her?
Well, they can either kick her out or she can swear in on the Bible.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't matter because in her religion she can lie to make her ends be met.
Is that the same MF girl?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, she's garbage.
But then again, that Arizona woman would have to too, because she swore in on a book from a law school.
You mean that cinema?
Yeah. She didn't swear it on the Bible.
There was recently a Serial Brain on cinema.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so both of them then didn't swear on the Bible. So
neither did the other one from Minnesota. She didn't swear in either.
Okay,
right.
So is there one, two, or three people that did not swear on the Bible then?
There's three.
Okay, so do they get to have anything to do with making any laws? I realize the Senate's not going to pass anything, but what are they doing in their offices because they're not technically sworn in?
Guess they'll have to fix it.
Well, hopefully somebody
go back and do a revote.
Hopefully somebody in the upper echelon will give that some attention rather than just sweeping it under the carpet like they always do. And we can come to some type of resolution with that, because in this country, we swear on the Bible, and that's, I'm sorry. In this country,
Why are you sorry?
Well, no, I don't mean that. I meant that sarcastically.
I know what you meant, but think of the words you're saying.
Just because you are a different religion or different agenda should not overrule our existing laws and our protocol. You either
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Or you don't conform. If you don't conform, then I'm sorry, you cannot be a part of this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? This is not mob rules. And so these are our laws. And that goes for everything. The border, everything. Laws are laws are laws are laws. That's just all there was to it. And the real crappy thing about it, if I were to leave right now and go down to the Mexican border and hop over the border, my butt would probably be arrested before my feet hit the ground. But yet thousands upon thousands upon thousands of them are welcomed with open arms into this country. And that just, excuse me, that just irks the hell out of me. It really does.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, but we have 3 House of Representatives who are not representing the people that voted them in.
No, in fact, one of them,
Let's just
there was another one.
let's just let go of voter fraud for this moment and say that they got voted in, and they won't swear on the Bible to become sworn in to represent the people that voted for them.
Well, 2 of them are part of the Muslim Brotherhood. Keep
I
that in
know.
mind.
I want to get rid of them so bad I could.
And proud members of the Muslim Brotherhood.
And how they got elected in this country, I have no idea, other than they came from areas that have been taken over by the Muslims.
It's
Well,
where
but
Obama,
then again,
it's where Obama dropped all the Muslims when he brought them in. Minnesota
yeah,
and Michigan.
Yeah.
but also look at Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh, she's just
She's dumb as a rock.
Yeah.
She is dumb as a doorknob.
She got fined.
Well, videos. Yeah, her campaign got fined, but all of those videos surfaced that she's not Alexandria. She's actually Sandy, and her best friend was Uma Aberdeen.
Yeah.
And so now it is starting to shed a little bit more light on how she could beat so many incumbent Democrats in her state.
Yeah.
So now they're screaming voter fraud. But
Good.
the bottom line to this is all of this has got to stop. It's got to stop, whether it's Democrats, Republicans, Whigs, Independents, I don't care who it is. It's got to stop. They're not going to run our lives. We, the people, constitutionally elect our own representatives. And another thing, while I'm running my mouth, that needs to stop, term limits. Term limits. They were never meant to go into office. This Yahoo that just got voted out in Florida, he was in there 47 years.
That's ridiculous.
They were showing him when he got signed in got sworn in the 60s. 47 years. It was never built to do that. You leave your state, you go, you serve a term or 2, you go back to running your growing crops or whatever your occupation was. You were not meant to be there 47 years.
But once they get used to the money and the lifestyle, they don't want to go back to tilling the field.
Piss on their money and their lifestyle. We need
I understand that. But when I understand that completely, I'm just saying that's one way that this got started.
Oh, of course.
And then they got used to it, and the men who were working their fields said, if you do it this way, you can stay there. I don't care. Just leave me alone and leave me to pay my bills and don't tax me to death.
Well, thank the Lord.
And it's all got out of hand.
Well, they've started introducing legislation to actually put term limits. 2 terms on senators. No. Yeah, 2 terms on senators, I believe. Please don't quote me. 2 terms on senators, and I think 3 terms on the House. That's it. Done.
Okay, my question.
That's still too long.
Go ahead, West.
My question is, they're there to make laws, correct?
Right.
Why
do we need so many laws?
What laws are they there to make? They can go home. They can stay home. And they can leave us alone.
And they could meet once every 6 months for a month or something like that. We don't need them there just making laws. This is too much. Right. We don't need these many laws.
Well, another good question to ponder. Okay, say for instance they pass the term limit. Okay, you can only serve however many terms in each section. Okay, then what do we do with the Pelosi's? With the ones that have already been there 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, 35 years.
Well, you don't want to know what you
already
don't
up?
You really don't want to know what we want to do with Pelosi. This is California.
I'm still waiting on somebody from California to explain to me how Gavin Newsom had 47% and the other gentleman had 53%, and they just swore in Gavin Newsom. I'm still waiting on that.
It's called illegal votes.
Right. I know that. The basic math, 47 and 53, and they put the check mark next to the 47%.
Right.
Nobody's kicking up dirt about that? Come on.
Voter fraud.
Okay. Well, what my Saints are playing later on. Okay, so if they lose 14-28, I want my Saints to keep going forward, and I want the other team to be kicked out. Okay, just
Right.
you know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So
God love you, Mad Hatter, but you know what? I don't know how they're going to get. I wish they'd do something about this problem here in California. They took care of Florida. How come they didn't take care of California too?
what did you see who we elected as our governor? Thank you. The day he got sworn in, he kicked Israel out of office.
I know.
That was his
Like the
first
first
official
thing he
duty.
did.
Yep. Yep.
And Israel's kicking and screaming.
Oh yeah, he says he's going to run again. I don't think he'll be elected. Do you?
No. No.
Okay, so we're going to go on to number 9.
Please do.
DIMS control black population. Anonymous, 29th of October, 2017.
No. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You were reading the title. I apologize.
Okay, thank you.
Just smack me.
If I could. No, I'm just kidding. At 7:26 p.m. Projection. These can't lose control over the black population. At some point, the Great Awakening will occur whereby these false local/national black leaders are corrupt and paid off to help keep the black population poor and in need. These inform the Confederate States against freeing slaves. These inform the KKK. HRC's mentor is who? What happens if the truth about Haiti is released? Do these lose majority of the vote? Through the looking glass. They rely on the mainstream media to keep the narrative going, but tech is entrenching on their controls. They missed this in 2016 and desperately attempting to censor now due to CIA cash infusions. This will fail.
Amen. The Dems do control the black population.
Not anymore.
And
No, they're coming out.
I'm a history buff.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a huge history buff. I'm probably the biggest buff anybody's ever seen when it comes to history. I'm also a huge Civil War buff simply because I grew up in the area where battles were, and I would go metal detecting and this, that, and the other. If you ever want to read a book that will actually give you the true information on the Civil War, why it was fought, why the South lost, yada yada yada, without any, deep state editing. There's a book out there called "The South Was Right." It is now that the name is misleading. It's not telling you that the South saying slavery was right was right. It's not saying that at all. But it gives you behind the scenes interviews, documents about the war itself. And if anybody has interest in that war, if you read that book, you will come out with a very different understanding of what you were taught in school, and you'll find out that that not everything you were taught was correct. Let's just put it like that.
That's why in one of the Q drops they say go back and find an old history book and go through it, because they change the history every, I'm guessing 10 to 20 years.
Yeah, I've heard that they're now the new history books out in school. I can't verify this, but I've actually heard this from many people. I did ask one of the little guys that are one of my neighbors that he's in school, and he's in that area, and he said I was right. But he said the new history books are actually changing the Holocaust numbers, say from they're cutting the numbers of people killed almost by a third, if not a fourth.
Well,
They're doing that. They're doing that with Mao. They're doing that with any and all Holocaust that ever happened. They're all changing the numbers.
you're getting ahead of Q. You're getting ahead of Q. There's a Q post that specifically tells you to go back and look at the history books 10 and 20 years or something like current 10 and 20 years. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, I mean, we don't even take civics in school anymore.
No, and they should.
Yeah.
They don't.
There's a lot we should be teaching our kids in school now instead of whatever crap it is they're learning.
They're really not learning anything.
But
Yeah,
but yet
I'm
we're
for.
yeah, like Huffington Post is allowed to put out articles about, how to teach and encourage your 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 year old children to masturbate, but we're not allowed to learn about our constitutional rights in school. That's somehow wrong.
Well, yeah, if you keep them fat, dumb, and happy, they won't think, and they'll just boil with the rest of the frogs.
Yeah. Well,
And that'll be so much easier to take over a country full of people who just don't care and don't see it coming.
Or don't know any better.
You know, if they'd have waited another 50 or 100 years to do this, then they probably would have had what they wanted. But I think they pushed it too fast, and there's enough people of a decent age that have the morality and the mentality to understand that what's going on.
well, Trump was their backfire in every way, shape, form, and fashion. He was their backfire.
Yep.
If you take everything out of the loop and you just insert Trump and his Twitter page, just his Twitter page blows up their narrative day after day after day after day. And it just frustrates them to hell because they have no control over what that man puts on his Twitter page. And I love it that he is so open. He talks to us like we're part of his family. He lets us know what's really going on. And like he said, if he didn't tweet out the numbers, jobs, unemployment, welfare, what have you, then we'd never know anything was ever different. Because if you listen to mainstream media, it's still hell on earth. And so we're blessed to have you're fired in office. I think I think he's going to go down as the best president in history. I mean, there's never been anybody that's come out the gate and has done what he's done. I mean, you just look at the list of accomplishments that he's done in the first 2 years. It's more than the other presidents have done, all the way back to Kennedy. I mean, it's phenomenal.
It's amazing. It's amazing
Well,
everything he's accomplished.
I believe wholeheartedly that this whole plan with Q was originated with Kennedy's assassination. I think it's been working in the background this long. And I think you're right about POTUS, but what I'd like to add, I think what their downfall was our military, because our military has put this together.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. This plan
Yeah.
wasn't just hatched out the night before the election or the
Well,
night
I
after.
don't think it was even hatched out in the last 10 years. I
Right.
believe
Yeah.
I believe it's got its origins when Kennedy was killed, because somebody loyal to him in the military knew what he was doing. He had to have the military backing. He had to have some of his generals know what he was thinking. And I think over the course of time, they trained their most trusted people to keep this and to keep working this until it could come to fruition.
I agree. Not to mention, Kennedy had some very close relatives that stayed pissed that they killed his dad, and
Yeah.
so he also used his clout, his mouth, his name to not let us forget what happened to his dad. And this plan that's been going on, I think it's been going on for a very long time. And if you really think about it, what we as Anons know about the whole Q situation, we're probably not even scratching the surface as to what's really going on. And from just what we know, digging on one subject, we can stay up 3 nights in a row, never get to the bottom of that one subject. Could you imagine having to formulate and put together a plan to take these people down when they're all connected in one way, shape, form, or fashion?
Across the entire world.
Exactly. So this quote unquote plan has been something that's been going on for a very long time, and I agree with you 110% about Kennedy. I believe it all started there because even prior to Trump, watching Kennedy films, it was really odd that a lot of the just the nobody, the citizens that they interviewed, said that that day was the day that they stopped trusting their government, because prior to that, if the government said to do something, we wholeheartedly trusted our government, and they were doing whatever they were doing for our betterment. And the day they shot that man, that all ended. And you know, we woke up as a country, and something started being put in place, which I'm glad. Anyway,
Yes, the innocence was gone.
yes, yes.
Okay, we're going to go on to number 10. Clinton Foundation investigation, anonymous, the 29th of October, 2017 at 7:57:27 p.m. Remember, the FBI and military intelligence have an open investigation with the Clinton Foundation. Why did Comey drop this? Who was the FBI director during the Haiti crisis? How many kids disappeared? How much money sent to Clinton Foundation under disguise of Haiti relief went to Haiti, sorry. What countries donated big money to Clinton Foundation and why? How much was owned by accepting? When she lost, how would this be repaid? What did Obama do with cash just prior to leaving office? Repayment to those who donated for favors, access, dig. Again, people were forced into bed with this evil under personal and family threats. Could you live with yourself helping to cover up such evil, despicable acts if given a safe way out? These people worship Satan. Some openly show it. And again, there's no signature from Q because he hadn't started signing it yet.
And symbolism will be their downfall.
Yeah.
Well, Chelsea Clinton wears that upside down cross. And there are many others.
Several people in Congress wear those rings, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
The
What's
chick
that
from
one?
Texas, the black chick.
Yeah, I know her name. I know her name. I can't think of it.
Yeah, she was wearing the ring actually during testimony.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Anons blew it up.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be really nice to have the answers to some of these questions that we do know, you know, it's like, or that we could figure out. Like, who was the FBI director during Haiti? Was that, I don't know who it was.
It was under Obama. It was the same FBI director, and I can't remember his name. It's not Comey.
Was it, no, Brennan was CIA.
That would have been under FBI. That would have been Mueller.
Yeah, under FBI. Do you remember who it was?
Yeah, it was Mueller. It was Mueller.
It was Mueller because he couldn't serve another term.
Yeah, it was Mueller. Which, I mean,
And I know there was an enormous amount of money that came into the Clinton Foundation from around the world for Haiti, but so little was spent on Haiti, and it really wasn't even spent on. There's people that still don't have a home, and all their kids are gone.
Well, there's people that are still marching in the streets in Haiti with effigies of the Clintons, burning them on sticks to this day over the earthquake situation in Haiti. And whenever you mention Mueller and Clinton, you also have to lump John Legend, Chrissy Teigen into the same mix because they were the celebrity backers of that whole little mission. But,
and the Red Cross.
And the Red Cross. But you know, so much. It's amazing when Q opened our eyes to symbology. You know, now when you look at certain shows, you look at certain people, you look at certain things that we never paid attention to before. You know, it's now so prevalent. You know, for instance, MK Ultra. You know, with them signaling that they're a part of the group by covering one eye. And you go back and you look at the multitude of magazine covers, album covers, that all have the celebrities covering the same eye. You know, and then the monarch butterflies, and you look at all of the celebrities that wore a monarch in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and it's just too coincidental that they would all pick the monarch butterfly when that's under the monarch program of MK Ultra. So their symbolism is going to be the absolute downfall because they are so brazen and they are so asinine that nobody's going to tell them what to do or when to do it, and they still think that they're in the dark, and they have no idea that they have spotlights on them now.
Yeah, well,
I
we all
think
know that there's no. Go ahead.
I was talking without my button being on. I apologize. I think they know that the spotlight's on them now.
And
Yeah,
there's no such thing as a coincidence ever.
no, I don't think that there was either. But I think that they've been so spoiled for so long, and they were, given the ability to run amok for so long and do what they wanted to do without any consequences, that I think their ego just won't let it go. And I got the biggest laugh yesterday. Somebody snapped a picture of Robert De Niro, and somebody else had gone up to him and asked him about Trump, and all he did was flip the middle bird. And the funniest thing about that picture was when they showed the full body picture, and he had like these 8-inch lift tennis shoes on, walking around. The soles of, if you ever get a chance, look it up online. When De Niro is in tennis shoes, his soles are about 8 inches thick because he's such a short kid.
Wow.
Oh, you must have a complex.
Could you imagine having to walk around in lifts like that your entire life? And he's still short with the lifts.
Another Danny DeVito,
Another Tom Cruise.
huh? Oh, that's funny. Okay, so I think we're going to end here. We'll pick it up tomorrow and get another 10, and we'll get these blown out, and everybody can go back and remember.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Wes. And
Thank you very
Dave.
much.
Thank you, guys.
Y'all have a good night. I'm going to end the recording.
Good night, guys.